We're sponsoring Resilience 15 principally because we got involved in Resilience 14. Had the pleasure of participating in the roundtable event that you had here on site, and from then it sort of moved on to a sponsorship program. This is a theme, resilience in general, really quite core to what we're doing at MacDonald at the moment. In some sense, the challenges are probably more related to the unpredictability of it. A scientist colleague of mine will say the one thing about climate change that's certain is that it's happening, but the impacts are unpredictable, the when, the where, exactly how much. And these can sometimes take communities a little bit off guard. And sometimes we don't help ourselves. We make our infrastructure a little bit too interreliant, so you tend to get cascade effects. We need to be investing not only to prevent incidents, but actually to recover from them. A little bit like investing for failure, in a way. We need to get our systems back up and running. And what we see, particularly with the increase of the severity of climatic events, laid over the gradual deterioration in things like temperature rise and sea level rise, we are going to see more events more often that our infrastructure can't specifically deal with. So if there's going to be a flood and we can't protect against it, you may not be able to protect an estuary-based wastewater treatment works from flooding, but you can ensure that all the sensitive switchgear is above the maximum anticipated flood level. So we're then talking about getting stuff back up and running in 24 hours and not 24 days or 24 weeks. We very much see that cooperation, collaboration between the public and the private sectors is the only way actually to bridge some of these funding gaps. We have to recognise that all investment requires return, be it public sector investment or indeed private sector investment. And it's understanding the two halves of the equation, need to understand that. And only in collaboration and working these things together will we begin to see a proper response to some of the more significant impacts of climate change. So we've come to term this in the company the resilience dividend, that for those companies, those bits of the public sector as well, who are investing in adaptation, coming up with robust adaptation plans, which is looking both at protection and recovery, then we see a dividend arising. Maybe it's just in the reduction of insurance premiums, the access to higher rated finance, which gives lower cost. And for business, it may be direct. It may be that they are positioning themselves better to recover quicker and therefore access their marketplace all that much more readily. So it's not all one-sided, it's not all cost. For those that embrace this, we definitely see a dividend in commercial attractiveness or in public sector readiness. We are now very much more into the areas of scenario planning and those sorts of things, that should this event happen, what will be the impact on our infrastructure and how can we mitigate those impacts before we built it. So we do see greater awareness in the planning on the key infrastructure projects, and undoubtedly as they go through into implementation, this will become built into the fabric of the asset. So hopefully our new assets will be in a far more resilient place than some of our existing assets are. So we do see this moving on, picking up a pace. And honestly, strictly, it's why we're so involved with it at this current time.